Manchester United's pre-season gave us a look at how Erik and Ruud van Nistelrooy are tweaking the tactics as part of INEOS' new game model. In this video, I'll run through what changes we saw in pre-season and how we can expect that to bring an improved team shape in and out of possession. This is where we need to see some real evolution from last season, so let's run through it. Manchester United have got one more game left in the pre-season, the Community Shield against City, before we kick off our Premier League campaign against Fulham next Friday at Old Trafford. And what I want to do in this video is run through a tactical comparison. I do this once a year. We're going to be taking a look at some tactics last season, some problems that we've had, and some new elements to the shape, to the team press, to how we're playing out from the back with the ball, to our attacking patterns that can sort of give us indicators towards what this INEOS game model is and how United tactically are going to be different and hopefully better this season. All right? Let me know what you think in the comments below about this. If you can, please drop a like on the video. Let's try and reach 5,000 likes. Why not? It's cool when it happens. Let's speak about it, all right? Ten Hag, we've got a lot to improve on from last season. And the first thing I want to focus on is the pressing team, the pressing shape, sorry, all right? Last season, it was abysmal, all right? Just an example here. Eriksen bombing forward. McTominay's up there. Garnacho's trying to mark two players. Wan-Bissaka's tucked inside. It's just, there is no shape to it at all. It was man-to-man marking. Another example here, Bruno bearing down on the goalkeeper. Marcus Rashford not following in with him. Therefore, there's two out balls. Easy to beat the press. But United against City in the FA Cup final used this system to great effect. All right? Now, Kobbie Mainoo's gone forward a little bit there, but it's basically 4 up there, 2 in the middle, and 4 at the back. 4-2-4 is what we used in the FA Cup final, and that worked. We dropped the man marking, and we used a team shape. And we saw that in pre-season, all right? Jadon Sancho might be slightly further ahead, but United are holding their lines and holding their shape for their 2 slightly deeper line than maybe you would have wanted, but you'll see that that wasn't actually a problem in certain occasions. And here you can see the pressing trigger. The ball goes back, and now United move forward as a team collectively. No man marking, but as a team with pressing triggers. That's what it should be. That's what it wasn't last season. And here's a good example of what I mean. Now, the deeper line was a problem last season. The gaps between the midfield and the defence, the gaps between the whole team. There was just too much space. Now, I think there's still some work to do on that. And, of course, we need more signings. So this will be improved with the signings that we make. But you can see the ball, the out ball is here for Liverpool, but Lindelof spots it. Lindelof sticks his toe in and wins the ball high up the pitch with United. And United have got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 ball players ahead of the ball. And he won it in the final third. It's a sort of possession turnovers that can create chances. Now that comes from a better pressing team shape. Everybody collectively doing it together. We need to see that in this season. Now, one of the biggest problems we had last season was playing out from the back. All right, we had the 3-1-6 system. Right, the isolated midfielder who was Casemiro, 2 aggressive number 8s, the press that didn't work, that man marking nonsense, and there was way too much space. And we also couldn't play out from the back with the ball. Now, in pre-season, I would say it's been kind of fluid. Right, here's an example. You've got your 2 centre-backs here. I think that's Lindelof. I think that's Evans. You've got Wan-Bissaka over there going for the overlap. And you've got Casemiro here on his own with Toby Collier a little bit further forward. But Harry Amas cuts inside. He inverts and becomes the second number 6 alongside Casemiro. Rashford spots that. And Rashford runs deep, giving Onana a really easy out ball. All right? And this is a very good example of it. That 2-4 system is probably, I think, what you're going to see a lot more of this season from Manchester United in terms of how we play out from the back with the ball. All right? So you've got your 2 centre-backs here who split either side of the goalkeeper. You've got your full-backs in Wan-Bissaka and Harry Amas who are pushed high up the pitch. And you've got Collier and Casemiro as staggered number 6s, not alongside each other, one a little bit deeper, one a little bit further up. And watch how United create the chance here, all right? The movement. Collier looks over his shoulder to see if Harry Amas is there, and he realises he's watching him. So Collier goes forward. Harry Amas then tucks inside to cover that space. And by doing that, Marcus Rashford again is aware, runs down into the position which now has been vacated by Harry Amas. By doing that, Ben White runs to cover him, all right? And by doing that, it gives Rashford the opportunity to play that ball over the top. And all of a sudden, you're in a 3-on-3 situation because Arsenal have pressed onto us and we've beaten it. And Højlund scored from that. It was actually a fantastic goal from Rasmus Højlund. But that 4-2 shape there, I think you're going to see a lot of from Manchester United this season. That's kind of what I would predict. because you get options. Obviously, everybody's got to work as a unit, all right? Now, as I said, there were different sort of systems that United used in pre-season in different games and different times. Here you can see Scott McTominay telling Eriksen to drop in there. You can see Casemiro's dropped in between the two centre-backs. That feels a lot more like kind of what we saw last season. The 3 and the 1 with an aggressive overpress up front. All right, and in this situation here, we'll run through it. McTominay, he makes the run. The ball doesn't come to him. Leads to nothing. But then the ball comes back to Casemiro, and Ahmad sees that run as well. And I imagine you might see this a fair amount again this season. United playing with that same shape there, and the ball over the top from Casemiro creates an opportunity. It was kind of poor decision-making from Ahmad, so it didn't lead to an opportunity. But the ball over the top, I think, could be a tool that United try to use if that build-out from the back doesn't work. So maybe that can be your plan B. That was kind of plan A last season. Maybe that should be our plan B. And is it kind of another shape that United used here? Again, with 3 playing out from the back, but instead it's tucked into a bit of a diamond midfield, which means that Christian Eriksen is the man over. And United have got the opportunity to have the extra man in midfield, which should mean you can play through it if you can find him. So I thought it was quite interesting. There were kind of some certain different patterns that we used in terms of the build-up play. But I would expect to see United with that 2-4 system, the 2 split centre-backs, the 2 full-backs really pushed forward, and 2 central midfielders, maybe in a staggered formation, one in front of the other, creating a line of 4. And United just working as a team. This is what we didn't do last season. Right, moving on to the final talking point here. And this is around attacking patterns. Because Ruud van Nistelrooy's come in and no doubt has been helping with the drills. And one big thing that he's been working on, one thing I said in my sort of analysis of Ruud van Nistelrooy as a coach, he loves his attackers to hold width. And you saw it in Manchester United's training videos where there were coned areas on each side of the pitch. And if United scored a goal from those regions, or those areas, that team got double points to sort of emphasise the importance of staying wide. And United, quite a lot in this game, there's a line down the pitch to sort of split it into 2 because United created a lot of overloads on one side of the pitch to create opportunities on the other with the switch of play. You can see United over here, right? How many players we've got? We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And down there you've got Harry and Mass, and you've got Marcus Rashford hanging wide, stretching the pitch. And then you've got the ball that comes back to, who is that? I don't know who that is. Is that Casemiro? Is that Wan-Bissaka? I think it's Casemiro. Ball comes over to Marcus Rashford in acres of space. Chance created. Another one here. You can see the majority of United's players are all over this side of the pitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 again. Christian Eriksen receives the ball, spots the run, goes wide. United stretch the pitch. And that width, I think, is something that is going to definitely come into United's game this season. But look, tactically, we were all over the shop last season. All over the shop. And if this game model is going to work, we have to be better at playing out from the back with the ball. And maybe that 2-4 system is something we're going to see a lot more of. We have to be better with the press. It's not just man-to-man headless pressing. It's pressing in that shape we saw in the FA Cup final against City. Using the pressing triggers, actually pressing as a unit rather than one player, which is how, like Ralph Rangnick said, you can't be a little bit pregnant and you can't do a little bit of pressing. You either all do it or you don't do it. And United last season, it was semi-press at best. But that's sort of what I've seen so far. I'm sure that this will develop and I might do a follow-up video on this across the course of the season. But United need to evolve, Ten Hag needs to evolve, and the tactics needs to evolve. And I think we saw glimpses of that in pre-season. We need better personnel to make this really, really tick. But it's certainly heading in the right direction, even if we're not there yet.